What is actually happening in Agrabah? Dark Fan Theory of Aladdin Part 1. Hello viewers. How are you? Welcome to Nibir Network. Today we will discuss about what is happening in Agrabah. Does Agrabah has strong rules and regulations? Or anyone can destroy the country easily? According to this theory, Aladdin is set in the past, and the genie is just making jokes that go over the heads of all the non-supernatural characters. First, the motives for power that Jafar have are very unclear in the movie. It is a Disney movie, so he's just evil for evil's sake, but if you think about it, he has no reason to complain in his position. He has complete influence over the Sultan with his hypnostick, so he can do whatever he wants. He has his own guard that answers only to him, so he's protected. And even if something he suggests to the Sultan doesn't turn out right, he's not in charge, so he doesn't have to take the fall. In a stable Agrabah, it would be better for him to be the advisor for life and have a lot of freedom, than be Sultan and have the same freedom but also be in the public eye. Which leads to the question of whether or not Agrabah is really all that stable. Aladdin is a young man in the prime of his life, and he can't get a job, so he resorts to being a thief. There are people with jobs, but they seem to be merchants or family businesses only. Inherited jobs are indicative of a society with very little social mobility. Aladdin is stuck. He doesn't have any aspirations to do anything with his life, no school, no military, nothing. There is an economy, where people use money to pay for things, but it is very cutthroat. Any perceived violation is met with swift street justice. The owner attempts to cut off Jasmine's hand, and the only police in this society serve the aristocrats. Living in this kind of place would be brutal for anyone who was not an aristocrat or connected somehow, and every day those people would be reminded of their status by being forced to look at a gaudy and audacious palace. This is exactly how you breed resentment in a population. The palace itself is massive and always seen as almost deserted. There are very few servants, or even bodyguards around. The Sultan is absolutely disconnected from the people he rules and spends his time playing with his little toys. His main concern is to get Jasmine married to a prince, most likely to form an alliance with a neighboring kingdom, which could be very useful if a civil war, or worse, were to break out. As for the law that a princess has to marry a prince, that may be a lie they tell the general population to keep them from thinking above their station. When Jafar tries to get the Sultan to give him Jasmine, his response is not about the law, but instead that he's too old. The Sultan is obsessed with getting Jasmine married off, and only a marriage that would strengthen his kingdom will do. The Sultan knows his kingdom is a house of cards, and he's doing the best he knows to avoid the inevitable collapse. But even the Sultan doesn't know everything about Agrabah. Jafar carefully reads up on the old teachings and writings of Agrabah, and learns that Agrabah as he sees it, is a city that should never have existed. It has no infrastructure, resources, military, or anything that makes a society successful. Think about it as Las Vegas, but without all the technology or support that makes modern Las Vegas possible. The palace was created in the middle of nowhere, in the desert, all at once by a genie. The founder of Agrabah wished for his dream palace, first wish, and for all the people that would make his dream palace a nice place to live, second wish. This doesn't violate the rules the genie has for wishes. He's creating new people, not bringing people back from the dead, killing, or making anyone fall in love. The founder's third wish came at the end of his life, as he lay dying. It was a vague wish to make him live forever and keep him and all his possessions safe. The genie did the best he could, turning him into something a bit more durable than a deteriorating human body, an indestructible flying carpet. The genie kept him safe by locking himself away in the magic cave, with the carpet, ensuring that nobody would wish Agrabah or the founder away. Meanwhile, 10,000 years later, we see the dream palace has been deserted. The descendants of the original second wish created people gradually figured out that the palace was not how the rest of the world is, and that it was impossible to rebel against the Sultan in the palace, or do anything to destroy the dream palace cause the palace was protected by magic. They all just left, creating an ad hoc city that surrounds the palace, while they figure out how to take the Sultan down. Eventually, that plan was forgotten about, and a very formal social structure was formed. But even that is on the verge of collapse now, and this is why Jafar needs the lamp and power. An outside army would simply pillage the surrounding city, if they ever found out how impotent the Dream Palace was. With the city picked clean, Jafar, the Sultan and Jasmine would be forced to simply live out their lives abandoned and alone in a prison of their ancestors' making. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check all of the other videos I have made about Aladdin. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button below and please don't forget to share with your friends.